Good evening, Gills fans. Welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV for our latest Monday review as I look back at Saturday's win against a very depleted, yet surprisingly, well, probably not surprisingly, boisterous Bolton side. Even more so, particularly boisterous Bolton fan base who travelled in numbers and didn't stop singing from first whistle to last, despite their very young side getting battered 5-0 by the Gills. So we've got that to look back on. A couple of exits in terms of playing staff. And I also thought I might be talking about 1, 2, maybe even 3 at a push deadline day arrivals. But if you hear that, you can hear the tumbleweed drifting through. Hasn't quite happened as planned for one reason or another. The club have released a statement. The time now is 10 to 6. That statement came out about half hour ago, explaining why we've not managed to get any deals over the line on deadline day. But yeah, let's go back to Saturday morning, the weekend, and the news broke mid-morning that this man had left the football club. That is obviously young winger/striker Elliot List, 22 years old, who decided to move on, it seems, according to media reports, on Saturday to League 2 Stevenage. If any of you have seen his interview on the Stevenage Twitter account or Facebook page or any other social media outlet, it seemed that the decision was Elliot's. He's been promised that he'll play as a central striker in that team in League 2. And I don't think you can ever begrudge any player wanting to, take on a new adventure if they're going to get regular game time. It's something that Elliot's never probably had in all his time with the Gills. Played 102 games in all competitions since arriving in summer of 2015 after being released by Crystal Palace, I believe. Consistency always seemed to be an issue with Elliot. Certainly had all the tools to be a good player at this level. Knows where the back of the net is. Showed that in the latter part of his time with us. Pace to burn, 2 good feet, surprisingly good in the air for someone who's not that big. But I always felt with Elliot, he was just always wanting a little bit more. If he'd come on and change a game from the bench and then you'd start him in the next game and he'd disappear, he'd go missing, and you'd think, why can't we get that for 90 minutes? Why are we only getting it for 25 minutes, half an hour or a half? And fair play to Elliot, like I say, you can't stop any youngster wanting to go out and play and wanting to get regular game time, and I hope that he kicks on and I hope he does really well there. Obviously, when it happened, my thinking was, well, if Elliot wants to leave and we've got in a small fee, believed to be around £40,000 to £50,000, then if that goes towards wages or bringing in a striker who can help add more goals on a consistent basis, then happy days. But that's not happened today, but we'll get to that in more detail in a little while. So Elliot is still young enough to make a decent career at League 1 or League 2 level, I'd imagine, but does need to start playing regularly, start starting games regularly and start scoring more regularly. He leaves with 10 goals in all competitions, and all of them, as I tweeted out Saturday morning, did come in his final 47 games for us. And his best season was last season, 8 goals in 45 appearances under Steve Lovell. We wish Elliot all the best, and I will keep an eye on his career. But yeah, we moved on Saturday afternoon to Bolton Wanderers, who were saved at the 11th hour last Wednesday. They was down to less than 2 weeks in terms of expulsion from the EFL due to all their financial issues. But thankfully, unlike Bury, they were saved. And thankfully some more from a personal point of view and a selfish point of view. They didn't quite have enough time to get any more than 1 new addition in before Saturday's game. I think their team consisted of 7 youth players and only 4 senior pros, and it did show. So yeah, it was great for us. The old adage, you can only beat what's in front of you. Plenty of positives. We were professional from first whistle to last. First win, 3 points, clean sheet, 5 goals, 2 really good debuts. Number 1 from Thomas O'Connor, who grew into the game at left fullback. Looks to be another promising youngster coming out of the Saints Academy. And we now have him along with Alfie Jones, of course, on loan. Tom until January at the least, and I believe Alfie for the whole of the season. And the other one was Ollie Lee, really good. Second debut, of course, played a few games as a youngster back in 2011-12, I think, on loan from West Ham. 2 goals and assist, and was basically the heart of everything that we did really well. But yeah, I think the biggest thing for us was we kept going at 2-0, we kept going at 3-0, we didn't sit off, we kept trying to score more goals, and in truth, it could have been 8-9, it could have been anything. I know they hit the bar at the end, and I think Jack Bonham made one save from a free kick first half, but aside from that, it was almost an attack versus defence training exercise, and I've seen today they brought in quite a few, so fair play to them, and hopefully they can now kick on and their season will start in earnest. But from our point of view, really, really good. Plenty of chances. First half, aside from the 2 goals, Conor Ogilvie header probably should score. Alfie Jones header definitely should score. I'm sure there was another chance that was either charged down or blocked or saved by the keeper. So that was 3 decent chances plus the 2 goals. Second half, Brandon Allen misses a chance when he can't sort his feet out as the ball gets flashed across the box. He misses another one-on-one after a poor back pass. He did get his goal on top of that. Alex Jakubiak should score, has one charged down. Mark Marshall has one blocked on the line. Regan Charles Cook heads over. I think Mikael Mandron come on and tried to bend one in the far corner. It took a nick off the defender and flashed over the bar. So plenty of chances. I think it was about 68% possession. We bossed it from start to finish, and that's understandable. And like I say, it won't determine where we finish this season. And if you take out the minus 12 points deduction, which obviously is going to have a big say for Bolton, these performances where they're losing by 5 goals won't determine how they get on moving forward. And I said at the beginning of the season, I left Bury and Bolton as the bottom 2 based on what was going on. But I think I've seen enough around Bolton's fan base on Saturday and the type of players they're bringing in today. Maybe they have got a squeak of staying up, and it'd be a monumental effort. I think Keith Hill, who was announced as manager about 2 hours after full time on Saturday, is an excellent appointment at this level. I think he knows that area. I think he's brought in David Flitcroft, ex-Mansfield and Bury manager, as his assistant. So plenty of experience there in the Football League. And yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they shape up now that they've got a few more bodies in and a few more options for future fixtures. So all the best to Bolton. Like I tweeted out, 740 fans, an absolute credit to themselves and an absolute credit to their football club at the weekend. And we wish you well for the rest of the season, aside from 90 minutes in April, I think it is. Yeah, not a lot else to talk about, really. So yeah, let's move on to this. You know, the day where everything's happening, ins and outs everywhere across the country. Transfer deadline day today for League 1 and League 2 clubs and Europe. It's been a bit of a damp squib, unfortunately. I don't want to sit here and criticise us too much, because looking at our squad that I've written down, we've made 13 signings this summer. I think how many on a five loans and 8 permanents? Jack Bonham, Lee Hodgson, Alfie Jones, Conor Ogilvie, Thomas O'Connor, Stuart O'Keefe, Matty Willock, Usain Usise, Ollie Lee, Mikael and Jolly, Mikael Mandron, Mark Marshall and Alex Jakubiak. So it's not like we've not been busy in the transfer market. But I think we was all hoping for something today, weren't we? Especially on the back of the news that club captain Gabriel Zakuani has been released. He's had his contract torn up, mutually agreed between him and the club. And the media team have done a really good job for quite a while now, and I've been really impressed with what they do. They try to keep us involved. The little interviews with Steve Evans or Paul Rayner are great. It gives us an idea of what's going on. But they tweeted out this morning, transfer deadline day, who would you like in, Gills fans? So for 8 hours to pass, and us to, the only announcement we get come 5 o'clock is a message from the manager to say that for one reason or another we've not got anyone in, is quite disappointing. There was hopes for a striker. You see the likes of Matty Taylor gone to Oxford in the window. I know he's injured now, but no one could foresee that at the time. Jason Cummings, played under Steve Evans, has gone to Shrewsbury today. So is it Callum Lang has also joined the Shrews on a season-long loan from Wigan in the Championship. So it seems that there were good players available. And unfortunately, I've just tweeted out, it seems we've gone from bidding for players in a higher division a few weeks ago to now relying on scraping around the bargain basement for free transfers it's going to be. And Steve Evans has said in this statement that he's hopeful a couple will be in before the weekend. But we keep hearing that at the moment. And aside from Ollie Lee and Thomas O'Connor at the back end of last week, it's been very quiet for weeks. Do we have enough to challenge for the top 6 like Steve Evans said we was going to be? I'm not so sure. maybe it'll all settle down now the window's shut, and obviously we know what we're working with, so to speak. I mean, I've put down a list of players. I make it 21 senior pros if you include Jack Tucker as one of the centre-backs. So that is Jack Bonham, Joe Walsh, Barry Fuller, Lee Hodson, Max Amart, Alfie Jones, Connor Ogilvie, Jack Tucker, Thomas O'Connor, Bradley Garmston. I assume he's staying. No news that his contract's been torn up, so he's not a free agent, so he can't go anywhere. And I believe he can't leave on a free now, because you have to be a free agent before the 5 PM transfer deadline. So it looks like we're going to hopefully use him, because why not? He's a decent player at this level if he gets games. In front of that, we've got Stuart O'Keefe, Mark Byrne, Matty Willock, Usain Usise, Regan Charles Cook, Ollie Lee, Mikael and Jolly, Brandon Hanlon, Mikael Mandron, Mark Marshall and Alex Jakubiak. So 21 it looks like we're working with at the moment. If I was marking the window as a whole, I'd probably say it's been a solid 7. I think if we could have got in, and I know they cost a bit, a proven League One striker who was going to guarantee you 15 goals, then I'd have said it would have probably been a 9. But at the moment, I'll stick to what I said pre-season. I think we're probably a little way short in terms of challenging that top 6. My theory is that we only seem to have 2 or 3 out-and-out strikers at most. That's Brandon Hanlon, Mikael Mandron and Alex Jakubiak. But it seems if we want to play 4-3-3 that Alex Jakubiak may have to play as a winger at times as well. And I'm all for that. I'm all for people being flexible, being versatile, because it helps, especially in the lower leagues where budgets aren't so high. But it would have been really nice to see 1 or 2 in today. But we can't change it now. We'll see what happens in the week. Hopefully by Thursday we can have a chat, preview the Tranmere game and talk about Colchester being a positive performance in the leasings.com trophy, I think it is. But yeah, for now, no transfer news, unfortunately, but just a little bit frustrating with DJ being released a couple of weeks ago, Gabby being released today, Elliot List being sold. There's also been Bradley Stevenson and Miguel Squire that have gone today as well, so it's 5 out in the last couple of weeks and only 2 in. So simple maths says that, well, you know. But yes, there is a game tomorrow night. Like I say, this leasings.com trophy, I believe myself and Stocky will be there for a match day live as we face our friends from across the water in Essex. League 2 outfit Colchester travel to the Priestfield tomorrow to face us. I know Steve Evans has alluded to the fact that he's going to make a few changes. He was hoping for 1 or 2 new debuts, but obviously that's not going to happen unless we can get him in early doors in the morning, I'd imagine. So, in terms of Colchester's form, played 8 in all competitions this season, won 3, drawn 3 and lost 2 in 90 minutes. One of them draws, though, did lead to a penalty shootout win over Crystal Palace of the Premier League in the Carabao Cup. And earned them a plum draw against Tottenham Hotspur in the next round. So congratulations on that, Cole Yu. In terms of team news, I have no idea what they're going to do, how serious they're going to take it. In terms of ex-Gills players, Ryan Jackson, Frank Newborn, Luke Norris, I believe are still all on their books. So it'd be interesting to see if they feature and good to see them. In terms of our team news, no injuries, I'd imagine, because Gabriel Zakwani was the only one injured. My team for this would be Jack Bonham in goal, Lee Hodson and Bradley Garmston as fullbacks, and I would keep Max Amart and Connor Ogilvie in centre half. I would then play Stuart O'Keefe and Matty Willock in front, and I would play a flat 3 behind a striker. I would go with Mikael and Jolly from the right, Mark Marshall from the left, Regan Charles Cook as the 10, and Mikael Mandron up front. I would give Brandon Hanlon and Alex Jakubiak the rest. Hopefully we can get another hour out of Matty Willock. He didn't look fit at the weekend. He looked very rusty, but that's understandable. Not played any competitive minutes for us yet, and I'm sure he'll only get better with time. And if I'm going to do a prediction, like I say, it's tricky to do. I'm going to go for a narrow Gills win 2-1. Hopefully we can carry that momentum from Saturday into tomorrow night, and that will set us up nicely for Tranmere. Yeah, so a bit of a up and down kind of Monday review. Lots of positivity surrounding the game and the result at the weekend, and the performance particularly, regardless of the opposition. But yeah, just a little bit frustrated this evening that after all the social media talk from the club this morning and we're going to do this and we're going to do that, it's just a little bit annoying that we've not done anything at all. And we've obviously released a lot more than we've got in the last 14 days. So it'd be interesting to see how we do use this free agent market in the coming days and weeks if we have to. But yeah, that's enough from me tonight. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you know that. Please follow Gills in the Blood Injury Time on Twitter. Go and check out our latest podcast, which is available on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and plenty of other podcast outlets. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, hopefully we'll see a few of you tomorrow night for the leasings.com fixture. Be interesting to see a few of those players that have not played. And until next time, up the Gills.